So, fun-ish story. I actually took 3 years of French classes in high school. 3 years, got A's every single year. And the character that we're doing for Animal Crossing is a goat with a French name. And I don't know how to pronounce it. So those classes did not actually work. And I guess that's just another example of the very weird education system we have in the United States. But 3 years, French classes, don't know how to say this name. I'm going to tell you what the name is in the soap that we're making for the last Animal Crossing soap in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. My first name is French too. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 117 of 365 days of soap, and today we are doing the last Animal Crossing soap, and the next to last Midwest Fragrance Company scent. I got 10 from them. This is number 9. I'm gonna do something else with the last one because it was supposed to be a 10th Animal Crossing soap, and I just didn't have it in me to do a 10th, but the scent that I haven't used so far, I really, really want to soap with because it's divine. So we're gonna do something with that real soon. Anyway, the last Animal Crossing soap that we're making is a goat named Chèvre. 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 It means goat cheese. And so that makes sense. The scent is not goat cheese. Like, that's not what we did with this one. The scent is actually weirdly a Vanilla Bean Nectarine that is so delightful. Oh my God, I want to smell like this 100% of the time. And it has no vanillin in it. And you would think with a name like Vanilla that there's some vanillin in it. Non-vanillin. So that means that I get to make Chèvre as a white goat, because that's what she is. And that's exciting. So I'm really looking forward to, doing that. So we're going to go to the video and do that thing, now, and talk about all the things, now.
Okay, so on to Chèvre for the last Animal Crossing soap, and that is what she looks like. She's fancy. Like, she's very fancy. She was one of the harder ones to get in my island on the Pocket Camp edition. And we are going to be using Metallica, I believe, for around her because she's going to be white because she's a white goat. And we will be using Vanilla Bean Nectarine. And look at that. No vanillin content. Wild. Super excited about that because, again, with a name like Vanilla, you would expect some vanillin in that. And so it's awesome. Now, the actual scent with this is wild because you smell the vanilla, sure, but the sweetness of the nectarine pairs so delightfully. It might be, I make this bar called Hello Gorgeous. Have you heard of it? I'm sure you've heard of it. And it is a vanilla bean ginger lime pairing. And once I smelled this, I was seriously considering changing my Hello Gorgeous to a Vanilla Bean Nectarine blend, which would be bonus for me because actually I wouldn't have to blend anything anymore. And for the Vanilla Bean Ginger Lime, I have to blend like 3 different things. And so it becomes, a pain. But also, bigger bonus that none of it should discolor because none vanillin. That is not a tried and true statement, by the way. Like you saw Cherry, for example, no discoloration. Had a 1% vanillin content, right? None discoloration. You saw Sweater Weather when we did the sprinkle, and none vanillin discolored like a mother. So, vanillin content is not an all the time guaranteed way to determine whether or not something is going to discolor. But it helps. And most of the time, it's safe to assume that if vanillin, then discolor. Or if no vanillin, then won't discolor. Most of the time. I'd say about 90% of the time. It's true on both ends. In this particular one, none vanillin, not expecting any discoloration. But with the Cherry Amaretto from Midwest, vanillin did not discolor. Sweater Weather, none vanillin, did discolor. I know I just repeated exactly what I just said. I just wanted to really drive the point home. And also, I'm just talking more right now because this is a long video. And I honestly don't know why it's so long. Like, it's not long. It's not like the long form and the deep dives that I want to do more of. But it's kind of longish. It's, 23 minutes long. That's kind of a thing. So, I don't know. There's only so much that I can say about this particular process at this point while I am taking a stick blender back to my colored soap to thicken it up again because I'm doing sculpting. Sculpting, you guys. Sculpting tools are coming out. It is going to be a thing and it is going to be wild. So, therefore, I need the soap batter to be, thicker because whenever I start sculpting layers and doing all of that, I have none patience. I have none patience to actually let things set up before I start taking the tool through it, the scraper through it to do whatever. You've seen it. You've seen it multiple times. I just don't have the patience for it. And one of the problems is if I let it sit for too long, I will have completely just gone on with my day. And like an hour later, I'll be like, oh shit, I was making soap. And then go back to the counter and everything is like super thick. And so, well, it's no longer sculpted layers. It's just layers. Now let's slam them into the mold. That's another reason why it's problematic, for me personally. But, that's just me. You could be really great and patient with all the things with, layers and sculpting and thicker soap batter and waiting for things to firm up. But that's just not, I don't. And so I always make my life harder as a result. But yeah, you can do just what I did if you want your soap batter to be thick enough to, do weird things like this. This isn't exactly quite thick enough to even do this with yet. But I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway because I don't like waiting. And I waited something like, 20 minutes for this to get thick enough in the mold to even do this. And it wasn't doing so. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't have time to mess with this anymore. And the aforementioned, I'm moving on with my life and almost forgot about this soap. So, I just decided to do a messy sculpt, really. Okay, and on to the second pour, I guess. I mean, that sculpted layer wasn't even finished. That lower right still had some issues, so I don't exactly know what I think I'm doing here. I really don't. Also, I don't know why I decided to do sculpting. Like, knowing that I'm not good at it. Of course, looking at this goat, you saw the design. How the hell else was I going to do this? Of course, it was going to be with a sculpting tool. So I'm carving some soap batter. Yay, look at me go. But also, I didn't finish it in the mold there. And I don't quite remember whether or not I took the tool back to it to fix those edges before I poured. So I hope I did. I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point, but you see that? Oh, now it's on the upper right. You see that? Do you think I noticed? Oh, look, I think maybe I noticed. And by sculpting tools, I mean a piece of cardboard that has been cut to fit into the mold and create Chev's chin. That's it. That's a nice channel right there. Isn't that delightful? Now, this soap batter that is in the container still, in the Pyrex, it's still reasonably fluid considering it sat for like 20 minutes with nobody touching it. So if you were wondering if the Vanilla Bean Nectarine accelerates, no, it does not. No, it does not. We have a nice fluid batter here. So that's good information as well. Now, for the final part of this, I'm actually going to get yet another sculpting tool out, carving tool thing, because we need kind of a roundy type head. And I'm completely flying by the seat of my pants with all of this, much like I do in all first creation soaps. I just sort of estimate what it is that I think I'm going to need for each section. It's a guess. And then I make it. And if I realize, oh, well, maybe that 6 inches wasn't really, or 6 inches, 6-ish ounces wasn't really enough for the Metallica color, I change for the next batch and I get more. Now, I just did weird things with my hands with the little embed things there. Because I forgot to put them in. And then as a result, the process of me putting them in, my head was all up in the way because the soap batter was weird and I needed to make sure it was all in the right place. And so I cut that bit out. So then I just showed you with more of the embeds for her eyeballs and whatever, what I did. I took them and I shoved them down into the white. And then I used the white that I scraped off the top to give it a round appearance, carved another channel into her head for her. Wow. God. If somebody just randomly walked into my house while I'm talking about carving channels into heads, awesome. But for her hairline, there it is. And then the rest of it's just going to get mixed back together and put over the top. So that metallic color all exists around Chev's pretty face. And then at the end, I made some goat horns, some gold ones, because she has beautiful gold horns out of soap dough that I just took and sort of twisted around and then rolled in mica. That's what I did for those guys. And I'm going to put them, where they're supposed to go along the metallic now. And that's going to be it. This one was actually weirdly, even though the other soaps took multiple days as opposed to just being one pour, this one was actually one of the more complicated and kind of annoying, not annoying, but kind of stressful pours because I don't know. I don't actually know why. Like, in and of itself, I'm watching this footage and I'm like, why would you be stressed about this? Why were you stressed about this one? I guess the reason why maybe I was stressed about this one is because I really love this cute little goat. She is delightful, and I didn't want to mess this one up at all. So I guess it was just a nerve thing. But then I completely big psyched myself out by not waiting for the bottom brown metallic color to firm up enough. But then 2, once I got that figured out, it was a nice channel. The white went in beautifully. And then I was so excited, I think, that the white was going in so beautifully that I forgot a pretty important part, which were the embeds. And there are at least 2 embeds in there, maybe 3. No, it's just 2. It's just the eyeballs because I'm doing something else for the mouth. And so, yeah, I don't know. This was a weird pour for me. Do you ever have those pours where everything just feels a little bit chaotic? I very rarely have them. Very rarely have those days where it's like, oh God, no, everything is just going pear shaped in my soap. And it bothers me. That's not to say that pear shaped doesn't happen. It bothering me almost never happens. But this was a weird, chaotic pour. And I'm getting a little bit mad at myself that I remember being so big shooketh during this pour, but I'm watching it right now and it's like, well, you did great. What's wrong with this? You look like a pro and like you knew exactly what you were doing. I am a pro, but what I'm doing, I had no idea at this point. Okay, so this was C-popped. This was gelled. It's got some cracking from the heat. We've got a couple air pockets that we have to figure out. The sides are super pretty though. It's kind of like that Sedona Sunset soap from, before. And I'm interested to see what this does. Show me. Show me. Put the whole thing. Can you show me? Don't be mean. Okay, that's not terrible considering I was flying blind like a moron putting the eyeballs in. All right. That's cute. Come on. Look at that. No, it's not done yet. It's not done because the Animal Crossing soaps, this would be way too easy if I just left it as this. So I will be carving the mouth onto, the bottom area there. Seriously. I'm probably on so many watch lists for so many reasons. 98% of them having to do with me talking about making things for my soap business. But those are adorable. Look at that. That is the cutest thing ever. I'm happy. That's that. Yeah. It's cute. It was a complete disaster while I was making it. I was so big stressed. It was completely insane. And look what it ended up being. Just delightful. Also delightful, the scent retention of the Vanilla Bean Nectarine. I love that scent so much. And every adult that has come into the shop since I got this scent in the shop, because I've been using it for like bath bomb classes and stuff, they love it. The kids, not so much. And so I guess that's maybe a problem because, again, Animal Crossing is like a kid's game, I guess. But you know what? I'm an adult and I play it and I find it enjoyable. I also play Minecraft. Find that enjoyable too. So it'll be okay. It won't be just... all these soaps are not meant for children necessarily because, that's... Animal Crossing is a game that everybody loves. I've decided right now. Now, this particular thing here, I'm just using a clay carving tool that just has like a flat head on it, kind of like a flathead screwdriver that I am dipping into activated charcoal, really. And sorry. And using it to make the, mouth. But again, since this is cut about 18 hours-ish after it was poured, it's the same thing with the Kiki soap. It's a little bit soft. And so I'm really just going to do a few of them to show you guys, the overall vision of the finished product. But for the rest of them, I'm going to let them set for a few weeks before I do the rest of the carving and the insertion of the activated charcoal to, finish the whole thing and make it black and make it match with the eyeballs, really. And I don't know. I think those are cute. What do you think? I like those. They're weird. Do you guys know who Chèvre is? Like, I guess I haven't asked any of you if you even know any of the characters that we ultimately decided to make for the Animal Crossing thing, because there are a lot of them, right? And you may or may not have ever come in contact with any of these. So I guess that's a good conversation. Let's talk about that in the comments of this one or any of the other Animal Crossing videos. If you did you meet, Henry? Did you meet Jay? Did you meet Chev? Sprinkle. etc. I'm curious. I can't believe that we haven't been talking about that. What the hell? That's nuts. But that's cute and amazing, and it smells incredible. And I'm ultimately very, very happy with all of those, even though the process was a little weird. And now that I see those, I realize that it's time for me to make some Coraline soaps, I think, because look at those up balls. We need some buttons. But that is day 117, the Chèvre soap from Animal Crossing, and we're done with the soaps.
She's so cute and fun and awesome. And you know, I forgot her freckles. I'm putting them on. So by the time you see this on the website, which will be tomorrow, her freckles will be on there. And again, that scent was so good. Midwest Fragrance is such a fun company, for sure. It's very interesting. Their website's very interesting. It's like one of those, like, family, like, they should be on HGTV doing like home remodels or something, because it's like the owners, that's the first thing that's on the, it's very delightful. It's very Joanna Gaines, you know, stuff. That's a person, right? Yeah. And very, very cool. And I definitely think that you guys should be trying them and doing the thing. Again, I don't know that I've mentioned this in any of this. This is not actually a sponsorship. They are not giving me doll hairs for any of this. They're just giving you a discount, which is awesome. So you can use coupon code SOAP and Clay 10, SOAP, ampersand, CLAY 10. It's down there at checkout, and you can get a discount on your next order from Midwest, and you should do so. They're really delightful scents. They've all been very strong. They've all soaped well. It's been a lot of fun, for sure. That's definitely a company that I will be going back to over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, if you are interested in getting the Chèvre or any of the other Animal Crossing soaps, you can do so tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day in this whole big line. We are ending this with some really adorable bath bombs. And so everything will be at soapandclay.com tomorrow. Not right now, but so close, for sure. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this Animal Crossing thing. I definitely did. I love Animal Crossing. Think more people should play it, just so I have someone else to talk to about this, because I feel weird, you know, just spending my days wanting to talk to grown-ass adults about what seems to be a kid's game, but I love it. It's fun, so go play it. And go get some stuff from Midwest and wait for tomorrow, and you can get the Animal Crossing soaps from me. I am out of here for today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.